This one book has actually changed my entire life. This is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Now, I've read a lot of books and I have two stacks of an ever growing library of books that I am still going through. And people always say, oh, get this book, get that book, it's going to change your life. And to be quite frank, none of them have actually changed my way of viewing things. I might have learned something, I might have understood something a bit deeper, but this particular book has actually changed my life and has been the catalyst of my continuation to live more intentionally, more purposefully, and take more accountability for my circumstances. I saw this book on TikTok. This woman was saying how she's working out now and taking more personal responsibility for her life. And for some reason, something about the video just really stuck with me and really stood out. And I'm big on feelings and frequency and vibes and all that. So after seeing her transformation and hearing her words, I decided to get the book. I also got his other book too, but I'm not there yet. I have a lot of books that I'm going to get to and get through, but I had to make a video about this. And of course, perhaps I'll make a continuation series of different books that I really enjoy. All right, so this is going to be, I'm going to look at my notes, but this is going to be 5 ways Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins absolutely changed and transformed my entire life. So let's get into it. Also, if you're more of a reader, I have created a newsletter on LinkedIn. It's going to be linked in the comments below. So if you want to read instead of listen to me talk, you can read the newsletter there. Or if you want another perspective, you can read the newsletter. But for now, let's get into the video. The first way is it pulled me out of having a victim mindset. Until I really got into this book, even though I was more out of it than before, I would still, when negative circumstances came into my life, I felt like, why me? Like, woe is me. I would feel sad about it or depressed and even cry. I'm a sensitive person. Now, though, even when I want to feel bad about myself, I just can't. The amount of times, 3, okay? But the amount of times that David Goggins was in the Navy SEALs and had to go through HE double hockey stick week. The second time, bro, when I was reading it, I just knew he was going to make it. I just knew he was going to do it. And then when he failed, I was like, no, like actively upset for him. And then you know what he did? He got up and he did it again. Okay. He did it again and he succeeded. The amount of hardship, trauma, stress, pain, all the things that David Goggins went through as a child is enough that people would say, you know what? If he's going to be mediocre, he has a right to because of how hard his life was. But you know what he did? He decided, no, this is not going to be the end of me. Do you see this picture of him? He was large. And then he became in charge, okay? Period. He looked himself in the mirror and realized that he needed to improve. He could have, because he was in DV with his father. They were in poverty. All of this crazy stuff. He was working, I believe he said at a skater thingy or whatever. His dad was a cheater, infidelity, all this kinds of craziness, whooping their tail left, right, and center. They couldn't really sleep because of his shenanigans. The mom eventually left the dad, and then they were in total poverty. He was a slacker. He wasn't completing his assignments, all of these things, but he is still who he is today. So if David Goggins went through all of this stuff, and he still decided, no, that is not going to be the end of me. I'm going to continue pushing forward. It has actually changed the way that I view circumstances and situations. That's why he's all about working out, because something that came from the book is, from his perspective, is that working out isn't just about getting fit. It's about challenging your mind and putting yourself in extreme situations so that when life starts whooping your tail like life tends to do, you will be prepared because you've mentally put yourself in a struggle position. He calls it callousing the mind. And I just resonated with that so much. And again, the way that David Goggins really holds himself to the fire. He doesn't make excuses for his failures or his shortcomings. He holds himself to the fire. He has activities at the end of each chapter, which I really enjoyed. I got myself a mirror and put my sticky notes on that thing. I am not going to be showing you my sticky notes because that is my personal information. However, there is a hashtag. So if you want to see what other people did, you can use the hashtags from the book And then you'll be able to figure out what other people learned along the way and what other people's experiences were, which I thought was very cool. But again, it pulled me out of the big victim mindset, because now, truthfully, like, there are moments when part of me, the victim mindset in me, is like trying to feel upset, but then the other part of me is like, we don't have time for that. We got stuff going on. And it's not like suppression and not feeling it. It's just a matter of like, we have bigger fish to fry, and this too is passing. This too shall pass. And one thing is, like, when you get married to an ideology, your world starts to reflect it. So I started coming across more people who overcame insurmountable circumstances and still succeeded. But the way that this book is written, it's so well put together. It paints the narrative so well. There's times when my face was like, ugh, like when he boo-booed on himself and kept running, I would have been like, oh, hot diggity dog, I'm going home. Okay, you running so much, you got a boo-boo, and you boo-booed on yourself and you're still going. That could never be me. But you know what was me? I hate wet clothing. I hate the feeling of wet clothing. And so I'm starting my workout routine, okay, period. And it was raining. And the morning before I realized it was raining, I was thinking, I wonder if I could ever work out outside while it was raining and like find a way to put myself in a slightly uncomfortable but still safe situation so that I can see, you know, how much I've actually learned from this book. And then the moment came. And so I did run outside. I was sweating. I felt disgusting. I hated it, but I did it. And I felt so empowered. So the first way that this book has changed my life is helping me not see myself as a victim and helping me to see myself as someone who's victorious and can overcome circumstances. No situation is bigger than me. And David Goggins, oh my gosh. This book is everything. All right. Number 2. It taught me what accountability actually means. A lot of people that I listen to, like Jim Rohn and other thought leaders and thought people or whatever, are always saying that you have to take accountability for your life. But like, what does that actually mean practically? A lot of people speak in tongues almost, like they're like speaking in poetry or something. And the thing I like about David Goggins is he just spits it to you raw. You know what I'm saying? Straight, no chaser. So you can understand exactly what he's saying. And for me, taking personal accountability in this meant that you don't have to feel like a victim of your circumstances. If you win, it's your fault. If you lose, it's your fault. And if you lose, you can keep going and going and going, and you can win. You know, it's like they say success is attracted to you because you do the right thing consistently. But he teaches in this book that success might mean you fail 11 bajillion, as one of my students says, 11 bajillion times, but then you succeed that one time and it catapults you to the next. And every loss teaches you something. Like E.T. says, if you fail that class, you go back and you take that class again because now you know more. David Goggins has failed at life so many times, but he took those lessons and succeeded anyway. So I'm telling you, this book has changed my outlook on like myself, on life. And now I finally understand what people mean when they say take accountability for your life, because he is no excuses. He is no excuses. He's not feeling sorry for himself. He's not like saying, oh, why did this happen to me? He's like, this happened to me and it created who I am today. And now I can say that strongly with a pure mind to my clients, to my students, to the children that I serve, to the teens that I serve, and the young women. When they say I'm experiencing X, Y, and Z, I can say, well, you know what? So did I. Okay? And here's a better way of approaching the situation. So taking accountability is looking at what's happened to you or what's happening or what you're going to encounter, ready for whatever comes. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen that are going to be challenging. It doesn't mean that you're going to be totally prepared for everything. It's just being ready. You know, they say like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so that when those circumstances come about, you're already prepared. You're already like, okay, where are we going? We're going here, we're going there. You know, so staying prepared, staying aware, staying staying on top of your studies, going above and beyond, and doing all the things to the best of your possible ability. And so that way, success is your fault. Failure is your fault. And how you look at failure, do you look at it as, oh, I can't believe I tried it, of course I was going to fail? Or do you look at it like, okay, this is just what it is right now, but this will not be the end of my journey. Okay, I might not have come in first place this time, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do it next time. Reading how horrible his first races were when he was eating saltine crackers and a marathon, and some of it was, I almost vomited, if I'm being honest with you. It was disgusting, like when he boo-booed. But the fact of the matter is, he did not give up, and he got better and better. When he was doing that pull-up challenge and his skin came off, I almost threw up, child. I was so like, oh my gosh, because I have such a visual imagination. But he didn't give up. That's the whole point. He might not have succeeded the first time or the second time or the third time, but anything he put his mind to, he kept going until he succeeded. And for me, that added a new layer of personal responsibility and taking accountability for your life. Number 3, I tried to do that like funny. Number 3, all right. It made me believe that I can handle the hard things because, I myself and everyone else, we've survived every hard thing that's come so far, but it feels like surviving. And it feels like, oh, why did I have to go through this? David Goggins embraces the challenge. He embraces the pain. He embraces the suffering. And that's why he's talking about how you should work out, because working out is a way that you can force your body into pain so that you can increase your pain tolerance, also known as callousing your mind. So putting yourself in tough situations purposefully to test how far your body can go. They say the only one who knows how far they can go is the one who goes the farthest. Who pushes themselves beyond what they think they're capable of, who pushes themselves beyond the current plateau. The only person who ran a 4-mile minute is the person who did it. But before that, it was impossible. But once it became possible, multiple people did it. Impossible is just I'm possible put together. It just takes one person to see the vision and to do it. So the thing about David Goggins that I really, really appreciated is the way that he sees hard challenges. It's not like this is bigger than you. It's like right now, this might be bigger than you, but eventually you can figure it out. You can push yourself harder. When he had to go in the water and put all his uniform on for the SEALs training and do all this crazy stuff, and somebody actually passed away in his class, he kept going. You feel me? Like, he did not stop just because it got hard. In fact, he embraced the pain. He embraced the challenge. When his ankle broke, he just taped that thing up. Now, I am not suggesting that you go do that, okay? Because you might not be David Goggins. You are your own individual self. What I am saying is, though, that we are all capable of so much more than we know, so much more than we give ourselves credit for. In my own personal life, and when I graduated from college, I thought that I couldn't keep my grade above a 3.5 because I had never, I think the max I graduated with in high school was like a 3.6, and I was so excited about that. I got my first 4.0 in college. I have to stop doubting my excellence and start pushing and requiring excellence from myself. And even when I think, I'm doing the best that I can, maybe I'm not doing the best. Maybe I need to push harder. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been working out. I skipped a week or two because, it was that time of the month. But anyway, once that time of the month moved on, I got back on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading every single day, except for the weekend sometimes because I need a break. But the point is that I'm pushing myself harder. New ideas are forming like clockwork. Things that I would be nervous to do before, I'm doing more and more and more. And that is highly, highly in part because of this book. I read this book. I finished it like a week or two ago. And then I just finished another book. And now I'm on to another one. So I got to catch up on my videos. But the point is that we are capable of so much more than we know. And so David Goggins used working out as a way to push his body to the limits. And then he realized that the limit was just the beginning for a new way of being. And that allowed him to have a renewed and new way of looking at him. And he called himself, he's a bad MFer. Okay? A tough MFer. That's what he said. Okay? And I agree. So it just reminded me that this pain is temporary. This challenge is temporary. You can and will overcome if you stand and keep going. Okay? So I'm telling you, like, this book is the truth, honey. I think every single person on the entire planet needs to read this book. That is why it has inspired me to create newsletters that go along with the books that I'm reading. I'm using that in my newsletter called the Executive Mom Project, which I already have, but I'm going to be adding books in there as well because executive moms need to be reading. Because of this, I've started a newsletter for the young people as well, a TikTok and a YouTube channel for the teens and college students as well, called The Yon Effect. The newsletter is called The Freshman 15, and I created a course called The Freshman 15 with 15 lessons that I think all college freshmen need to know. So this book has challenged me to go above and beyond, challenged me to say, you know what, Jan, like, this is what we were doing, but maybe we were still playing it safe. Maybe we didn't fully believe in myself. Maybe I didn't fully think that I was capable because I was still holding myself back. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe that's too hard. No. What would David Goggins do? He would go after it. He would say, this is what I want to accomplish. I'm going to get there. I might not know how just yet, but you know what? I know one way forward. So this book has totally shifted my entire way of thinking. Okay? So I'm saying, like, everybody needs to read this. And no, I'm not getting paid. I just think that this is a great book. And I wanted to have my own book list. And then this one, like, when I watched the TikTok, something about it was just calling to me. So I was like, oh, I got to get this book. And then, of course, I got his other book, too. And that's over there across from me. But then I started reading the one thing, and now I'm reading these other books. And so once I'm done with that, I'm going to get back to that one. And I just have a lot of books that I'm going to be reading. Leaders are readers. Okay? Number 4, it raised my standard for myself and for other people. I know what I'm worth because it forced me to look back at, like, wow, no, I really did that, or I really did this, or I really am about that. And so when you start holding yourself to a fuller standard of excellence, because I already held myself to a standard of excellence, but I was comfortable on my plateau of excellence, you know, but now it's like, okay, this is where I'm comfortable, but like, how far can I really go? How great can I really be if I get out of my own way? That's another thing that he's saying, like, where are you holding yourself back? Where are you in your own way? Where are you the problem in your life? Focus on you, man. Get out of your own way. Be honest with yourself. Who are you? What don't you like about yourself? What don't you like about your circumstances? And you can shift it. You absolutely can shift it. You just have to work towards it and put in the effort. David Goggins said he meditates 2 hours a day, honey. Now, I ain't trying to tell you got to do that, but you got to do something. You got to do something. He works out like 8 hours a day. I'm not saying you got to do that, but you got to do something. You know, and you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. You got to hold yourself to a high standard and continue to press forward. Continue to try new things. Continue to increase the reps. Continue to grow. The David Goggins in the back, he couldn't run a marathon, but this David Goggins seems to run marathons just for S's and giggles, just to do it on a Saturday. Let's run a triathlon that might make me pass out, you know, just because it's Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So this holding myself to this highest standard where I'm like, wow, what can I accomplish? If this is what I do coasting, what can I do if I actually really put the pedal to the metal? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is possible? And that is what I learned from this book, okay? Putting the pedal to the metal, not just getting comfortable. Oh, you're doing great. Oh, whatever. People think you're so cool. Whatever. Who cares? What matters is, how do you feel about yourself? And I realized And even as I'm talking right now, that I realize that I was still holding myself back. And I catch myself now. And so from holding myself to a higher standard, I hold people around me to a higher standard. I'm not going to deal with certain stuff anymore. I'm not going to hang out with drama. I'm not going to gossip. I don't have time for that. I'm not going to hang around or date even people that don't honor me in the way that I want to be honored. I'm not going to do it. I got so much going on. My hands are in so many different pockets. I got to be ready to go. So this book also helped me change my perspective, not even just on myself, but on those people around me and where I'm pouring my energy as well. All right. Number 5. So the last one, and then I have something to just to tie it all in. It changed my identity. And I think this is the biggest one because I feel like now I am in control of my life. It does not mean that I have this false sense of security, like I'm in control of the whole world. Obviously not. But it does help me to see that I am in control of how I respond to the world. If I want something and I put my mind to it, no matter how long it takes, I'm going to do it. And there's this like chant that's always in my mind, and it was reiterated from this book, but it's like, who am I? I am a champion. And sometimes I just be saying that to myself, who am I? I am a champion. Because you have to beef yourself up. So it changed my identity of feeling like this is happening to me and to just, this is happening. Now, how do I evolve past this? How do I grow into something stronger? Jim Rohn says you become, this is what he says, you become a millionaire not just to be a millionaire, but you become a millionaire because of who it turns you into. Personal development and success go hand in hand. Success and personal development go hand in hand. So the more personal development you do, the more success you will have just naturally. And the more success you have, the more personal development that is required. It's kind of like there's like a Neville Goddard thing into that too, but we're going to stay on topic. The point is, though, that once I really started holding my feet to the fire, it was like something else ignited in me. And this like beast woman is out now where I'm like, I can do this. Not only can I do this, I am doing this. And how long is it going to take me to get to where I want to go is none of my business. But what I'm going to do is put the pedal to the metal like I never have. Like I never have. And that's what I've been doing. Stepping out into the world as this being that is purposeful, that is intentional, that is raw, that is rugged, that is truthful, authentic, and powered and powerful, fulfilled, excited to be here, excited to exist, embracing the challenge. Now I'm telling you, I was talking to my chat the other day, like sometimes I like when something challenging comes, there's a part of me that wants to feel sorry for myself, but the other part of me literally just won't allow it. It's like, get out of here, crybaby. We don't have time for you. And not even on some like rude stuff, but like, I don't even know what happened. It's like, I just can't feel sorry for myself anymore. And I'm so thankful for that. And I'm telling you guys, this book is the catalyst for it. And people always say, oh, you got to read this book. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but like everybody said, you need to read Think and Grow Rich. I don't think that book is all that great. Now, perhaps I'll go read it again, but personally, I'm just being honest. I did not think Think and Grow Rich was all that great of a book. I've read better books like this one. I'm not trying to be rude, but I didn't think it was that cool, honestly. So now also, my confidence doesn't strictly come from accomplishments. It comes from the fact that I am showing up at my greatest potential and even wondering, wow, what haven't I unlocked yet? Like actually asking myself right now, what haven't I unlocked yet? What haven't I unleashed that could catapult me to levels of success that I haven't even dreamed of yet? How am I holding myself back? How can I unleash the beast within and conquer? How can I be excited when challenges come? Like Reverend Ike says, when things don't work out, it's because there's something bigger on the horizon. How can I stay in that mindset? And this book is helping me do that. Okay? I'm telling you, this book is amazing. All right? Now, who should read this book? I recommend that all entrepreneurs read this book. All change agents read this book. I recommend if you're done being lazy and being a victim and feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like, why is the world so hard? If you're done with that mindset and that mentality, you need to read this. If you're looking to grow and you're done trying, that's another thing. I am done trying anything. I'm only doing, period. I don't have to try to empower my students because I already am. I'm doing it. I don't have to try to grow into myself because I'm already growing. I don't have to try to read more because I already read a lot. I read more now than I ever have in my life while being dyslexic. Okay? I don't have to try to make new business relationships. I'm doing it. I don't have to try to grow my business. I'm already doing it. So being accountable and being acknowledging that I'm done trying. I don't have to try to do anything. I don't have to try to be nice to people I don't like. Okay? I don't have to try to be nice to people I do like. I already am. I already like you, so I'm already being nice. So it's taking me out of the space, if you to those who have ears, listen. You feel me? If you hear me, you hear me. If you're confused, the message ain't for you, and that's okay. But I'm out of the mindset that I have to try to do something. I'm out of the mindset that, maybe this isn't for me. And something that happened while I was reading this book, I met with one of my mentors. He's amazing. And he said to me, that's how we move, and that was the first time that someone in a position, and period, has ever the first time someone, period, when I was telling him something I was experiencing and how I'm like a night owl and an early bird and it's just like life has just been shifting a lot lately. And for the first time, I didn't hear, oh, well, that's because that's how you are, or that's like, you're different. It was like, no, that's how we move. That's what we do. And that, while reading this, shifted everything. And I'm like, wait a minute, so I don't have to wait for a seat at the table? I'm already sitting here? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? I felt like one of my students when they're like, I never looked at it that way. And I'm like, one of my clients. The young women want me to call them clients, and then I call them students sometimes, so I forget. They're adults now, excuse me. Anyway, no, like really though, it was like, wait a minute. And then coupled with the book, it changed my outlook. Like, wait a minute, I don't have to wait for a seat at the table. I can just sit down. I can just pull myself a seat. Wait a minute, and then when I looked at who he is, I'm like, wait a minute, us, we're the same. Now, granted, he's much more accomplished than I am currently. Let's just be clear, let's be very clear. And though, to hear that for the first time, it totally shifted everything, and it was right on time. And the reason why I bring that up is because when you knock, it will be answered unto you. Seek and ye shall find. So when you open your mind and you open your heart and your spirit up for growth, then the universe will pour synchronicities into your life. Reverend Ike says that the more you grow, the universe will start playing tricks with you or like speak to you in a way that only you can understand. And so we had so many synchronicities and serendipitous experiences in that conversation, and it's been increasing. And this book and that conversation helped me to see, like, wait a minute, I don't have to wait for anything. I don't have to try to become. I already am. Now, is there more I can be? Sure. Can I be bigger and better at this thing? Certainly. But I already am what I was trying to be. So I don't have to try. I can just be it because I already am. That was a huge, 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 huge shift for me. And it shifted not only the way that I view myself, but the way that I view my position, the way that I view my company, the way that I view my students, the way that I view my business relationships that I'm having, the way that I conduct myself, the way that I speak, the way that I show up, the way I interact on the day-to-day basis. It's completely shifted. So I'm just so thankful for this book. So again, this is not a book that's going to tell you, oh, life is going to be a movie. You know, even Disney movies are crazy. Like when you really break down the story of Disney movies, those things are quite sadistic and weird. But the point is, this is not going to tell you, oh, just do this thing, you'll be rich quick. Just do this thing and everything's going to work out. No, this book gives you the real riggedy raw. It keeps it real truthful and honest. You're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to put some sweat equity into what you want. You're going to have to go the extra mile. You're going to have to stay up late. You're going to have to wake up early. You're going to have to do more. You're going to have to push yourself. But so what? So has everyone else before you. And you are capable. You're just as capable as the next person. You're just as important as the person that came before you. You're just as valuable. It's we now. It's not them. It's not you looking up, wow, one day I'll be there. It's recognizing you're already here, boo. Wake up and see what's really going on. And now that you know who you are and where you are, how do you show up now? Fully, confidently, powerfully, thoughtfully, purposefully, intentionally, spiritually, physically, taking care of your body. It's the only one you got. So this book has actually changed my entire life and my entire perspective, not only by the words, but how it's helped me to realize what's going on in my own life, what's going on in the world, and also has shifted because it came at the right time. Oh my gosh, the universe works in mysterious ways. It came at the right time, and every time you learn more, you're given more to learn. Every time you do more, you see how you can do more with what you already have. So by reading this book, it has unlocked a whole new world for me, and because of that, new people are being attracted into my life. New conversations are happening, and now I'm realizing where I already am. So anyway, that's how this book has changed my life. And again, if you are ready to have a new way of viewing, if you're open-minded, if you're done trying, if you feel like you just need that extra push to get to the next level, to get to the next mind space, make sure you get this book, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Because if David Goggins went through all that stuff and he can do it, you can do it too. Peace, love, and happiness. Be well, and I'll see you guys for the next book club because I already know which one I'm going to do next. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Be sure also to comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this. And then also, if you want to read my newsletter about this particular book, then check below either in the descriptions or the comments because it'll be somewhere. See you next time. Bye.